Yo, so guys, today I'm going to be showing you the best recording settings for OBS Studio and the best render settings for Sony Vegas. So yeah, let's just jump right into the video. So basically, and we're going to start with OBS. So in my settings, I have in the output for recording, I have it on output mode advanced, and I have the type on standard. And then you can pick like wherever you want your recording path to go. That's just where like all your videos and things will go. And recording format, yours will probably start on FLV, but definitely change that to MP4 because, I mean, unless you know what you're doing with FLV, but if you're just recording videos to upload to YouTube, just change it to MP4. And then audio track, I don't really mess with that. I just leave that at 1. And with the encoder, if you have it on X264, change it to NVENC H264. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, but that's basically if you have like a NVIDIA graphics card or NVIDIA graphics card. If you have AMD, it'll say there'll probably be something else. I don't know what AMD says because I've never had like an AMD card or anything like that. But in rescale output, I just leave that unchecked and leave it on 1920 by 1080. Custom muxer settings, I have no idea what the hell that is. But if any of you guys know, let me know in the comments below. So on the bitrate, I have my bitrate on CBR. And I record at a bitrate of 70,000. You can record at 50,000 to 100,000 and your videos will still look fine. I just keep mine like right in the middle, 70,000, you know, it looks pretty good. And then keyframe interval, on 0 seconds, I usually change that to 3. I like to have that on 3 because, you know, like, you don't want to record with a keyframe interval like above 5. And sometimes if you leave it on 0, it'll like make it do that and it won't look right. So just leave it on 3. Preset, you want to make that as high as it can go. Mine will be high quality. Profile, put that on high. And then level, I just keep that on auto. And I do not use 2-pass encoding. And then when you're done with that, you can just hit apply. And then in the audio, I have my sample rate. Oh, my cat's climbing all over me. I keep my sample rate at 48, whatever that means. And then you'll just have to go into your microphone settings and find what your microphone is. I would do it here, but for some reason every time, let's see, see, it opens that. It doesn't open the right thing. I don't know why. It's really stupid. I don't know why it doesn't open the right thing, but shit. Anyways, well, I would show you, but it won't open the correct thing. But if you can figure out how to go in and like know what your sample rate is, then definitely do that. But most people's is like, I think 44.1, but you can change the setting to 48. Now just made mine 48. And then channels, I just keep that on stereo. I don't really know what that is. And your desktop audio device, whatever like this would be like your headset. So whatever your headset is, mark that here. And then desktop audio device 2, I don't have one, so I keep that disabled. Then your mic, you want to select the microphone you're using. And then the rest is disabled, and I keep this on fast. And then in the video tab, of course, I do my recordings in 1080p. So the base is what your monitor is. So your monitor might be 1440p or 4K or whatever, but mine is 1080p. So I just keep that at 1080p because it would be pointless for me to put it up because my monitor doesn't go that high. But then your output is what you put out your recordings at. So like if I wanted to, I could make the output 720p. That would be 720p. So like if I uploaded that to YouTube, that would basically be 720p. But I keep that on 1920 by 1080 because it looks the best. And then for downscale filter, I keep that on the highest one, Lanczos. Sharpen scaling 32 samples because it's just the best one. And for FPS, this can be different for a lot of people. So since most of my videos have to do with Minecraft and stuff, and I get really high frames on Minecraft, I keep my videos around 220 to 240 FPS, and so it'll look really smooth. But if you're playing a game like a higher graphically demanding game like Warzone or Fortnite or something like that, and you don't get as high as FPS, I would recommend you keep this at around 60 to 100. Depending on what your what your PC can pull. So if you want to keep it on 60, just go to common FPS and put it on 60. If you want 120, just go to integer and then the maxes can go as 120. But if you want, didn't mean to do that. Whoops. And then if you want 220 or just above 120 in general, just go to fractional FPS value. And then on hotkeys, that's just personal preference stuff. That's all you. And then in advanced, so process priority, I have it as above normal. And I don't really know like exactly what this is. I don't know if it matters a whole lot, but I just have mine above normal. Render direct 3D 11, color format NV12. And then I think your color space will be set at 601 to start with. Put it at 709, and I think your color range will be on partial, set it to full. And then you guys can just copy all of this down, and yeah. So now you can just hit apply once you're done with everything. And now let's start up Vegas. And I'll show you guys my Vegas render settings. Okay, quick edit. So when I was recording the video, I completely forgot to add like what I do when I first put the video in and like these settings over here. So basically what I have here when I open this little settings gear cog right here, I have the video as just custom 1920 by 1080, and the highest it'll display on here is 120, but as you can see down here it says 220 FPS because that's what I record in, and the width 1920 by 1080, frame rate 220 because that's what I record in, but it'll be whatever you record in. Pixel aspect ratio 1 point bunch of zeros and square. Pixel format 8-bit. Full resolution rendering quality best, motion blur type, Gaussian, deinterlace method, whatever that is, I just have it on none. Resample mode, disable resample. Actually, for most of my videos, I keep it on smart resample to give it that kind of like little motion blur effect. I think it looks really good. And then this is just like where you want your Vegas files to be saved. And you can check start all new projects with these settings if you want to, unless you're going to be changing them every time. In audio, I just keep all that the same. Haven't messed with any of that. So yeah. And once again, I just forgot to add this in part of the video, so I'm going to go ahead and skip to the next part of the video right now. I guess I'll probably have to pull a video in too. We'll just pull a small video in, like, I don't know, what's this? Oh shoot. How big is this? Whatever. Alright. So, once you put your video in here, you're going to want to take this yellow bar. I'm sure y'all know how to do that, but anyway, so for the render settings, file, you just go to file, render as. So, a lot of people tell you to use, I think it's Magic's this MP4 one right here. You can use this if you want your videos to look like decent, but if you want really high quality big file videos, use Windows Media Video V11. I am telling you, this stuff makes your videos look flawless. I'm telling you right now. But basically, I'll show you my template. This is mine. I just named it 240 FPS because sometimes I record in 240 FPS. I just had it on 220 in OBS. But what you want to do is, here's this stuff for audio, CBR, all that stuff. And then on video, I have it on CBR, format Windows Media Video 9. Image size, you want to make it custom. It'll be on one of these. You could, whatever you had your OBS output resolution to, you want to make custom and then put it right here. So of course mine would be 1920 by 1080. And then you want to make your video smoothest. You start out at 90, pull it to 100, so it'll be the sharpest. Frame rate 60. Override the buffer, put 3. Seconds per keyframe 5. Pixel aspect ratio square. Alright, and then in the bitrate, I have this at 37 million. You can change it to whatever. Sometimes I change it to like 50 or something. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't look a whole lot different. But you can just mess around with that. Just don't go below, like, I wouldn't go below 25, to be honest with you. But yeah, and then index summary. I haven't really messed with this. I don't know what it is. And then project, video rendering quality best, and then use project settings and color space default. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope these render settings helped you guys out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Have a great fucking day, boys. And yeah.